Is Bitcoin going to crash? Is it going to do what '08? Is it going to do what it did in 2017? When I talk about '08, I'm talking about the recession. Let's look at it today. Keep it short and simple. As always, guys, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, and all that stuff. Now, Bitcoin, there is a lot of pressure coming from different angles that I'll try to explain in this video. Where my personal opinion is that a big crash is coming. Now, that ain't financial advice, but it's my own opinion. And there's a lot of catalysts or reasons why I believe the crash is going to be at a huge magnitude that we've not encountered before. But if you just look at the market, we're jumping around 2.4, 2.5 trillion. Bitcoin, it's around $54,000. Market cap around a trillion. Last 7 days, or it's had a decline of 8.4%. And as you can see, the other players in the game have also had huge drops, like Cardano. Cardano's dropped quite a lot because it's been delisted, or it's going to be delisted by eToro over some regulatory concerns in America. XRP still has its lawsuit with SEC, and the rest follow. But Bitcoin, when it takes a hit, the others take huge hits. Okay, so the first thing is, guys, there was an expiry date for the November the 26th, which was yesterday, on ETFs or options. Now, I don't want to go into so much detail what options are, but they allow you to bet on an underlying asset without purchasing the asset. So you could put a bet that Bitcoin will be trading above $80,000 in 2 months' time without actually buying more Bitcoin. And you could put it in either direction. So yeah, Bitcoin bulls risk losing $365 million upon Friday's BTC option expiry. $3 billion in BTC options expire on 26th, which has happened, and bears are better positioned below $58,000. Now, we know Bitcoin's trading below this, and that's actually a bearish signal because there was this descending channel. As you can see, it found resistance, or it needed to find resistance at the $56,000 range to keep this all-time high valid, but it's broken below this channel. So this channel could be considered weak now, and it could come back to this previous double bottom. That's dangerous because that is, sorry guys, that is around 40,000. Yeah, because it had to find support here. It hasn't found support. It's broken down. As you can see, there was a lot of bad news coming in where ETFs were rejected by the Securities and Exchange Commission, which was a Bitcoin-backed exchange, and a lot of things come from the government with the proposals to be really put regulation into the crypto market, put tax into the crypto market, have a radar, see where money's moving, and to prevent fraud and market manipulation and so forth. As you can see, a lot of put options were put where the price was believed to be going higher, and they will be most, as you can see here, out of the $3 billion of put options, call options, sorry, $150 million will be available at the expiry. That means most of them have been placed at $60,000 to $70,000 because there is no value in the right to buy Bitcoin at $60,000 or $70,000 if it's trading below that. No one's going to buy that ETF for 60 or 70 when it's way below that. If that makes sense. Only $150 million of those buy options will be available. The rest, like how much bill? The rest, 1.8, 1.7 bill won't be available. Now, the bears can secure $365 million gain if it's below 56,000, which has happened already. It's below that. So that's actually the first reason why that's causing a build up to the crash. The bulls are losing momentum. We've broken down the descending channel. This is purely technical analysis, and the fact that the bears have won on their options, That's all spiraling together. This ain't just theory. This is like the truth. It said here that the bulls need to manage Bitcoin's price above 58,000. That will save them from a potential loss. A mere 1.5% drop from the current 56.8 might give bears just enough confidence to instill even more pain, because if it keeps dropping, which it has, it's going to put a negative sentiment into the environment. The second thing, guys, is the fact that there's a new COVID variant spreading, I believe, in South Africa, and that is causing a bit of a slump on the stock market, because it's kind of obvious if this variant causes countries to do lockdown, it's going to affect the economic ecosystems of businesses that trade on the stock market, and therefore their share prices will go down and crypto will follow. It's just how asset classes work. People move money from assets, especially stock market, when there's something that's going to affect it directly, and COVID will affect it directly if there is a lockdown. So that's actually could be long term, depends how long this variant lasts, how many more come out. So that could actually affect Bitcoin's bull run, could like tamper it. And you know, there's also the fact that the miners in Kazakhstan, they're actually facing a bit of winter, a lot of power cuts, a lot of shortages, because as you know, China banned mining. A lot of it moved to Kazakhstan due to close geographical area. There's a lot of overload happening on the Kazakhstan grids, and they're actually, if you read about it here, the electricity demand has increased by 8% for the country compared to the annual growth of 1 to 2%. That's like a quadruple increase in electricity demand, and that's obviously going to cause a surge or difficulty to manage this. And you could see the co-founder actually tweeting that on Twitter. So much work for our hopes are ruined. So just think about it. If miners are unable to manage the proof of work methodology or consensus, then that's going to affect the value of Bitcoin, because its intrinsic value is valuable. Fundamentally, it's valuable if the miners can keep up with the proof of work, right? Now, I understand this is a short-term kind of glimpse, but in the UK, the winter's just calm. It could last for a few months, and that could affect the price in a negative manner. So the other side, you could see this is just about Ethereum. Options are expiring, but it's actually in favor. So people actually might be moving money towards Ethereum, and they see that Ethereum is actually breaking targets, making all-time highs. That could affect Bitcoin, because money can be moving from Bitcoin to ETH. Supply reduces. It's like a dump. And if you look at the article by the Guardian, they've wrote that Bitcoin could trigger financial meltdown, which was warned by the BOE Deputy Bank of England, Sir John Conliffe, and he likens it to the danger of the '08 crash and calls for tough regulation on cryptocurrencies. This was a month old, but it's about a month old, yeah. A senior Bank of England policymaker has warned that digital currencies such as Bitcoin could trigger a financial meltdown unless governments step forward with tough regulations. What do you think tough regulations is going to do to a decentralized place? It's going to push the price down. They don't like the idea, when I say they, I mean the government, of a decentralized situation, because it allows people freedom. It allows people to move money out of the financial world into a different world, and tough regulations. And this guy, he's played a central role in monitoring cryptocurrencies over recent years, an advisor to the G20's financial stability. So he's a person that's highly respected and is likely to grab the attention of senior treasury officials in the UK, Washington, and Tokyo. These are huge places in the forex market and in any market. So imagine if they do follow what he says, how is that going to affect crypto? And he's also said things like, the $2.3 trillion market, which is about 2.5 now, needs to be seen in the context of the 250 trillion global financial system. So he's saying it's creeping up to 1% of the whole financial system. But as the financial crisis showed us in the past, he's telling us now that you don't have to account for a large proportion of the financial sector to trigger financial stability problems. What he's saying is just because it's 1% of the whole global financial system, that's more than enough for it to affect us. And he gives an example that subprime mortgages was valued at 1.2 trillion in 2008. That was half of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency's value, and that caused a huge recession in '08, and led to a lot of problems for the lenders who gave mortgages in the US driven by low income to people without due diligence. So he's saying there's evidence that also speculators were beginning to borrow money to buy crypto assets, heightening the risk of a crash. So people are actually borrowing money from banks, leveraging to buy crypto, which can cause a bigger crash. Um, when you look at all these things together, and the fact that we are approaching all-time highs, it makes me a bit careful. Makes me think that there is a crash coming, and a way to avoid it would be, now this ain't advice, but I would personally put it into Tether, keep it in a coin that's stable, backed or pegged to the dollar until markets prices basically correct themselves. Because after regulation, after the new financial system understands how big this is going to be, when all these things are gone and it's cleaner environment in terms of regulations are more clear, then I would probably be someone who'd get back into it, because we are kind of we've made all-time highs. And if you look at it, it does look like a double top from a bigger picture. So I genuinely believe a huge crash is coming, and that's my opinion. Now, if you disagree, that's completely fine by me, because we all do what we think is best to protect our financial assets or investments. Because I want to protect my assets, and I'm sure you guys want to do the same, and you want to make money also. But I would love to hear your thoughts on it and how you see this coming, or how you see this playing out into the future. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Peace. And also, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thanks.